Thank you all for joining us today. Again, if you've not seen my face, I'm Ashton Hankins with the Technology Learning Center. And we also have Melissa Earls joining us today, also with the TLC. I know with some of the supervisors, we see you once and then don't see you again for months. So just want to make sure. So today we're going to talk about a couple of remote supervision options where you can be meeting with your interns, or you could be using this in any kind of way with your students. So the two options that we're going to talk about today are Bug in Ear and VideoAnt. Bug in Ear is what we refer to is just kind of what we call it. If you look anywhere else on the internet, nobody else is probably going to know what that is. But it's what we call our live synchronous option for supervision. And then we have VideoAnt, which is asynchronous, and it can be edited down to specify sections if you want to, or it can be a full video. So Bug in Ear looks like, there we go. There we go. Bug in Ear is basically what we're doing right now. You're just going to be doing a live streaming video chat with your student. What method that actually takes, if you're using Zoom or FaceTime, that's kind of inconsequential. It's the most important thing is that it's a live video conferencing. So just to kind of talk about like what you actually need for Bug in Ear and why you might want to use it. So in Bug in Ear, you'll start a live video stream with your student, and you'll be using your computer on wherever you're at, and the student will actually be in their classroom and they'll be using a Bluetooth headset to speak to you. So it'll be synchronous, so it's happening at the same time. It'll be unedited. You'll get to see a full, clear view of what the classroom looks like. And the really great feature about this option is that you can give immediate feedback to your student, and they can immediately take action in their classroom based on that. So for the student, the only thing that they have to have is a camera, the video conferencing software that you guys have chosen to use, and a Bluetooth headset. That's all they need. You as a faculty member, all you need is the same video conferencing software and then some kind of device to actually conference with. So it can be a computer, it can be a tablet, just anything that will show you the video and let you use a headset or mic. So I'm going to stop the share and share from my iPad. All right. So I'm on my iPad here. This is just what I'm using, but your students could be using a Chromebook, their phone, an Android tablet. It doesn't actually matter what it actually is, so much as can they video chat on it? Can they connect with a Bluetooth headset? So as long as they can do those two things, it doesn't matter actually what it is. So just some of the options for video conferencing software. You've got Zoom, Google Hangouts, Skype, Meet. You can use the built-in FaceTime option. That absolutely does not matter. I would highly suggest that you use whatever you are most comfortable with. So that part is just a minor detail that can vary. It can vary based on student as well. I like using Zoom because it will give you the option of recording the lesson as well, so that if you wanted to do asynchronous feedback additionally, you could. The other ones don't have that option, so it really is just whatever you're comfortable with. And so the other thing I mentioned was a Bluetooth headset. So I just have a pair of earbuds right here. There we go. And I just pair those through my iPad under settings, Bluetooth. And you can see I've connected these before, so they're showing the Raycon earbuds, but both devices just have to be in pairing mode. I just click it, and as long as these are charged, it should switch to connected. They also may be dead because I used them the other day. But I mean, that's pretty much it. It doesn't matter. Yeah, they're dead. It doesn't matter actually what kind of headset it is. This is a little fancier wireless, but it could just be the old school Bluetooth that's just on one side. That part, like I said, is completely customizable. We have a number of those devices in the TLC that students can check out if they can't afford one or they just don't want to purchase one. Right now, you do have to kind of consider everything that's going around. It will be used, so there is a little bit of risk. But you can also buy one online for like $15. So they're not incredibly expensive if a student doesn't want to borrow one of ours. So, and a lot of students probably already have one. So I'm going to go ahead and let Melissa talk about the camera setup and the options that we have and pass that over to her.
All right, hello everybody. So two ways that students can set up their camera is we have tripods that they can check out, and we also have this iPad mount here. Everybody see that okay? And so the way this works is this just screws onto the top of the tripod, and then your iPad would go in just like that and locks on the back to lock it in place. And so that way they can kind of have it in a stationary area in their classroom. Another really cool thing that we have that students can use is called the swivel. And it's like this little robot where I'm going to share a little video with you guys in just a second to kind of show it in action. But basically the iPad sits in here, hold on. And hold it up for a minute. It's going to sit like this, and then the swivel has what they call a marker that the person using it would like wear around their neck, and then it follows them as they move around the classroom. And let me share my screen. Let me show that to you guys real quick.
While Melissa's getting that ready to share, I'll just add that all this camera setup is just extra. You don't have to have any of these tripods or mounts or swivels. The student can just as easily set their device up on a stack of books or against the wall or anything like that. This is purely an optional equipment. So if they don't have any of this, it's not a huge deal breaker.
All right, can everybody see the video, the YouTube video on the screen? Okay, cool. All right, here we go. I'm not going to play the sound on it. It's just going to show how he sits the iPad into the swivel. And then, let's see, kind of fast forward, that's just where he's making sure it's all turned on. Get to that. All right. And that's where you'll see as he puts the lanyard around his neck with the marker on it, as he is writing at the whiteboard, you're going to see him kind of move on down, and then it's going to turn and follow the movements that he makes. And again, as Ashton mentioned, I mean, it's not a necessity that they use the swivel or a tripod. You know, they could just prop it up on books or whatever works for them. Those are just some options that are available if they want something like that.
So just to kind of recap Buccaneer, it's just a live video conferencing through your desired platform with the student wearing a Bluetooth headset. And that's the essentials. And we have tripods and mounts and equipment that students can check out to hold their device if they need it or if they want it. But essentially, I mean, it boils down to just a live video conference. So before we move on to VideoAnt, are there any questions about Buccaneer?
I have one.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, whoever that was. I'm sorry.
Is it Susan? Go ahead, Susan.
Okay, so quick question. The bug in the ear, how far can they move away from their device to where it still works?
That is going to depend entirely on their device. I would say usually we haven't had any issues in just what the standard classroom would be.
Okay.
I know with my Bluetooth headset here at my house, I probably got maybe 15, 20 feet away from it before I started having it crackle in and out.
Okay.
It's just, I would suggest that be something a student kind of plays around with and figures out ahead of time. But like I said, in all of the times we've used it, they're usually fine in a typical classroom.
Okay, and one other question. Intern ones, are they going to be able to see this video so they know what's available?
We are recording it if you want to share, and we'll send out the link if you want to share that with your internship students. You're more than welcome to.
Thank you so much.
And then my question was, is the swivel available to be checked out?
So we currently have one swivel.
Okay. And what is the cost of a swivel?
It is hundreds of dollars. So I would not, I would suggest checking yours out.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately we only have the one that we can check out. We're it's absolutely there for checkout. I just can't guarantee that it'll be there when a
Yes, I understand.
So on the swivel, my student used it last year, but she borrowed it from the school because they said that's what they're doing now for observing teachers, is they're using, all the teachers are having to use a swivel. So they might have one.
What school were you at?
I was in Benton.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was wondering what kind of equipment the schools have out. We'll just have to check, I'm sure.
Yeah.
That's great to know though, Susan. I appreciate you sharing that. Okay. Well, if there are no more questions about Buccaneer, I'll move on to VideoAnt. So VideoAnt is a asynchronous option. So you'll actually be watching a recording of a student lesson. So the student will have a camera and a computer and a Google account, and those are the only three things that they need. And so they will record themselves teaching. They can still check out the tripods or the swivels if they need to function that. So they'll check those out, and then from there, they will record their video, and then the next step is they upload it to YouTube. And then once it's uploaded to YouTube, they pull it into VideoAnt, where they'll actually be able to make live annotations on the screen. Whereas when it hits like 5 seconds in, they can tell you what they were doing at 5 seconds in and why it's important and reflect on what they've actually done. You as an instructor can also respond to those annotations and make your own comments back to the student. It is really great for peer review, for deeper reflection. I had some people actually talk about it in our last session about using this together with Buganeer, maybe doing Buganeer live and then having them also do this later to reflect deeper. So those are also the options. I'm going to kind of walk you through what it looks like from a student. So let me share my screen again. So again, I would do my recording on my iPad just because it's what I have, but we have video cameras that can be checked out from the TLC. A student could be using their phone, an Android tablet, whatever device they use to record doesn't actually matter. So they would just record using the built-in camera on their device. You can see my messy desk over here. And once they have that video recorded, they would go into their photo library and find their video. So this is just a 30-second one that I just made of my house neighborhood. So I have that video, I'm good. Then the student would go to the YouTube app and they're going to log into YouTube using their UCA Google account. So they can hit, you can see here, I'm in my A. Hankins at UCA account. And then once I'm ready, I'll hit the camera icon. Excuse me one second. And you can see a list of, I could record live, but then I can also see all the different videos that are actually on my iPad. I'm going to hit this 30-second one.
Hi, this is Ashton.
And it's automatically going to start playing it. And down here at the bottom, if I needed to trim off like the beginning where I was just getting set up, or the end where you see me walking to turn the camera off, I could do that by dragging in the blue box down here at the timeline. That does not have to be done, but I could. And then once I'm finished, I'll hit next. And it's going to ask me to enter a title. You have to enter a title. So I will just put Ashton Test 3. A description doesn't have to be entered. The most important setting on this page, and one of the things we get the most questions about, is related to this privacy setting. Because your student is going to have likely their students under the age of 18 in their thing, we don't want it to be public because you don't want to just anybody on the web to be able to search and see their video. On the flip side, you also don't want it to be private because then no one else can see it. So we want to use the unlisted, anyone with the link can view. Our college administration has decided that that is a safe option for our students that protects their K-12 students while also allowing us as supervisors to still view their screen. So they will hit unlisted and then they'll hit upload up there on the right. And how long this upload process will completely depend on how long and large the video file size is and how your internet coverage is. So here at my house, I should be pretty good. This is just a 30-second video, so it should not take very long at all. If your students are uploading a 45-minute video, it's going to take them much longer to upload this. So I highly suggest doing this in somewhere where they know they have very strong internet coverage and trying and just being patient because it's going to be a process, so they need to take it. I will talk a little bit later about some ways to make this upload process a little bit faster. So I do have tips for that coming as well. So once the video is uploaded to YouTube, all we need to do now is pull it into VideoAnt. I am going to jump back into my computer. So this next part, I really prefer doing it on a computer. I have tested it and it can be done on an iPad. I personally just really like the computer interface and I find it just a little bit easier, but if your students wanted to use their iPad, they could. So from here, they're going to go to the ANT website. Now, on our TLC website under video resources, we do have a link to this website. So as well as some help guides that I'll go through here in a minute as well. So once they go to VideoAnt, which is ant.umn.edu, this is a free product that has no cost to our students, which is really great. And they're going to log in with their Google account. And every first time they will have to allow VideoAnt access to their Google account just to make sure that it's still okay. So I'll hit allow. And then they'll be dropped on what they call their ant farm, which, you know, cute. So they will hit new ant and they can copy and paste the link from that YouTube video directly in here, or because we've used the same account, we can hit browse my YouTube uploads. And it will pull in everything, even unlisted videos that I uploaded to my Google account. So this was Ashton Test 3. So I'm just going to click annotate out beside it. The page will reload and you can see the YouTube video on the left, and here on the right, that's where our annotations are going to be added. So also down here underneath the video, we have kind of the control bar. So we have the play, we have the timestamp. This is going to be our annotation button. Closed captionings, those are pulled in from YouTube, as well as our settings, and then just information, which is just the author details here at the bottom. So I'm going to hit play on my video. And when I'm ready to stop it, I'm going to click the speech bubble with a camera in it. When I click that, it automatically pauses the video and opens up a new window over here on the right. We have subject with the timestamp and then content, cancel and save. So I would do, let's say test domain 1. Student would comment on their teaching and reflect on, here's where I explain the instructions. I did a really bad job. I need to be more descriptive. Whatever it is kind of you're asking them to reflect on, and then they'll hit save. When I hit save, the video is automatically going to start playing again.
This is my neighborhood.
And next time I want to make an annotation, I'll just hit the speech bubble again. Again, it will automatically pause. And I can add my content. And hit save, and the video will go again. You can see down here on the progress bar, every time I add an annotation, it's added a little dark gray vertical bar. If I realize that the timestamp for one of these is off, I can just click and drag that. And it'll update that timestamp. And to give like a fuller picture, this is one that Steve Ward did for us as an example a few years ago. So I'll just play a little bit of it. Whenever we get to one of his annotations, it's going to pop up yellow over here.
Here are our objectives for just my little portion. When we're finished with our 20-minute crash course in behaviorism, what I hope that you know is, well, what is behaviorism and who are the key people associated with behaviorism? Who are the behaviorists? Also, hopefully you'll understand the key terms of both classical and operant conditioning. And those are the two major branches of behaviorism. classical and opera, and to be able to tell the difference between the two.
So, and over here on his annotations, there's the option to click 2 responses. If I click that, you can actually see where Donna has responded to his reflective comments, and it's even allowed him to respond back to her. And that can happen on everything down here. Once the student has added all of their annotations, the next most important thing, they will need to share that video with you. So they're going to click Settings, and it'll open up. You'll have 3 tabs: General, Embed, and Export and Share. So they'll click Share. And you can see that right now, this ant has not been shared. So they'll hit Add Users and enter your email address, making sure that this is annotate out beside it. By this saying annotate, that lets you actually respond to their comments. If it's instead of you, all you can do is see it. You can't actually respond. So that says annotate. They hit share. And now you can see that email address right there. And you'll get an email saying Ashton Hankins shared a VideoAnt with you, and a link that you can click on to access that. We do have students who, in some programs, they need to submit this in chalk and wire, or they'll submit it in Blackboard. This share URL is what we usually have them submit in that situation. And just by clicking that, because we want you as an instructor to be able to annotate, but anybody else, whenever we go back looking at artifacts, no one else actually needs to be able to annotate. So they just need to submit that share URL to chalk and wire. And then we'll just hit close. So to recap VideoAnt, all that students need is their Google account, a camera of some sort, and some kind of computer device. They will record themselves using their camera, upload that to YouTube, and then pull it into VideoAnt, where they'll make comments and reflections on their video of themselves teaching. They'll then share that video with you, the instructor, and then as the instructor, you can comment and you can add comments and annotations back to the student. So do we have any questions about VideoAnt?
I do. On the Steve Ward video, when the yellow flashed, it was really quick. I noticed it didn't stay yellow. Can that be paused? I can pause that video and stop and comment, or does it just keep going? I can pause it?
Oh, yes, yes. As a watcher, you will have complete control over the play and pause.
Okay, because boy, that yellow went by fast. I almost didn't see it. Do you know if anybody has used both and has a recommendation? Is that something I would allow the intern to choose, or do I need to make that? What are your thoughts on that?
So Amy Thompson has used both. She unfortunately is in a training and couldn't be with us today to share her experiences. She usually gives her students the option. So she asks them if they want to do Bug in Ear or if they want to do VideoAnt, and kind of at the beginning, and then that way she can plan out for the rest of the semester based on that.
Okay.
So that's absolutely an option. If you're talking more about using both for each individual observation, I don't know that anyone has actually done that yet. But I think it could be very easily done just by recording the Zoom session. I don't know that any other of the video conferencing have the ability to record a meeting.
Because I'm honestly torn. I like the thought of being there live, but I love that reflecting and annotating on the VideoAnt. So I'm kind of torn here about which I would choose if I were going to choose.
I've used VideoAnt. I really like VideoAnt because of that self-reflection piece.
Yeah.
It really helps me see what are they noticing and what are they not noticing. Because some of the stuff that they notice, you know, it's not that big of a deal, and then they miss the more important pieces.
Yeah.
So I really, really like it. It's absolutely wonderful because reflection is the biggest thing I have problems with my students doing.
Okay.
So.
Well, thank you. That helps, Susan. Susan, are you going to be in that meeting with Patty Hunter on the 13th of August?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I thought I saw your name. Thank you. I guess I haven't met you.
Probably not.
Okay.
It would help if I unmuted myself. I will say, so we've been doing videotaped lessons with chalk and wire for 7-8 years now. And usually it's the student has to upload the actual video file to chalk and wire. I will say using VideoAnt and Bug in Ear, students seem to have way less issues. We get so few calls about both of them. But previously, we could always tell whenever it was that time for the videotaped lesson because we were just bombarded with support calls about it. VideoAnt, very, very few calls. I don't know that I've ever gotten a call about Bug in Ear.
Wow.
VideoAnt, though, and the VideoAnt issues always boil down to they didn't make their video unlisted or they didn't share it with their instructor. So very, very across the board, it's been very successful with the students technology-wise. I did mention that I would share a couple of some resources. So one of the problems that you will probably face if you are doing you're asking students to share with you in VideoAnt a 45-minute classroom lesson is the file size is going to be very large and it's going to be very hard for them when uploading to YouTube. So I will point out we have guides on how to deal with this. The process is called compression. Basically, you're taking a large video size, file size, and you're compressing it to make it smaller. So we do have guides on how to do that. And if a student compresses their video, it will make the uploading a lot faster. I kind of across the board, unless your video is like less than 10 minutes, I suggest that students compress it no matter what. So we have guides for on a Windows, on Mac, or if they're doing it from an iPhone or an iPad. We've unfortunately not found a great Android option, but they could always move their video file to a computer and then compress it. We also have some programs who like students to kind of edit their video down. So the student might record a 45-minute video, but the instructor's like, show me your best 10 minutes, or show me you demonstrating test domain 2A, or something like that. So we also have guides on how students can edit. So we have Android, Mac, Windows, those guides as well on our website. I would say that compression is usually where students have some issues. And this is not to say that would be a problem even if they were just uploading a video to Chalk and Wire directly, like we have been doing in a lot of programs. So it's not a new problem related to this. It's an old problem that was always going to be there regardless.
I appreciate you letting me know. Thank you
So I guess, do you guys have any other questions or comments?
I appreciate that, Jennifer. Thank you.
I will share a couple of things. We've seen this, if you're in ELSI, your students are already familiar with VideoAnt. They're using it. Lisa Harrington has them use it in one of her reading methods classes for peer review, which is really great. They have to comment on each other's like mini teaches, so that's really good. So it's not completely unfamiliar. We are completely willing to meet with your students virtually and kind of walk them through the process of using any of these. Buccaneer, that's always going to vary just based on the hardware used. So based on what video conferencing software you try to use or what kind of headset a student has. So we can't just kind of across the board give a really good walkthrough for that, but we're more than willing to troubleshoot with a student or with you to see what could be going wrong. So, if you guys don't have any other questions, I think we're good, but also feel free to continue asking questions if you have any.
Remind me again, is this, you're going to send a link so I can rewatch this if I get in a mess?
Yes. We will. It'll probably take us a day or two to get it uploaded to the TLC
that's
website,
fine. That's
then
fine.
I'll share it out.
Thank you, Ashton.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're welcome.
This was wonderful. Thank
Oh.
you so much to both of you.
Oh, you're very welcome. We love it, so it's never a hardship to share the love about VideoAnt and Buccaneer.
That's